Today was a massive day for all GTA 6 fans, as not only did we get trailer 2 drop today, but we also got a huge amount of information on the website. So Rockstar gave us a look at 8 of the main characters in the game, and we also got a look at 6 of the locations that are going to be in Leonida. In this video, we're going to focus mainly on the information that we got on all the new characters, so let's get right into this. Rockstar gives us a little insight on both Jason and Lucia, saying that they've always known the deck is stacked against them, but when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. Looking at Jason, we got confirmation that first his name is Jason and his full name is Jason Daval. Rockstar says that Jason wants an easy life, but things just keep getting harder. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks, and after a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for local drug runners. It might be time for him to try something new. Rockstar also reveals that meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now it's hard to tell. In trailer 2, it also comes across that Jason is completely smitten by Lucia, and even though he has a bunch of women that are clearly interested in him, he seems to be hopelessly head over heels about Lucia, and it's implied that he was visiting her regularly while she was in prison. The quote they used to sum up Jason is, "If anything happens, I'm right behind you." Again showing that he's madly in love with Lucia and he has got her back. Which brings us to Lucia Caminos. Rockstar tells us that Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life has been coming at her, swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in Leonida Penitentiary, but sheer luck got her out. Lucia's learned her lesson, which is only smart moves from here out. Rockstar goes on to say that more than anything, Lucia wants a good life her mum has dreamed of since their days in Liberty City. But instead of half-baked fantasies, Lucia is prepared to take matters into her own hands. Fresh out of prison and ready to change the odds in her favor, Lucia is committed to her plan no matter what it takes. And a life with Jason could be her way out. They also give a quote to sum up Lucia, which is, "The only thing that matters is who you know and what you got," which is a little narcissistic and completely the flip side of Jason. So it does kind of come across that in their relationship, Jason is very into Lucia and has her back, whereas Lucia is kind of more of what Jason might be able to do for her. Am I reading that correctly though? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. What got me more excited is that we were introduced to 6 more new characters who will be in the game interacting with Lucia and Jason. We will start with Boobie Ike, and for him, Rockstar says it's all about heart, the Jack of Hearts. Boobie is a local Vice City legend and acts like it. One of the few to transform his time in the streets into a legitimate empire spanning real estate, a strip club, and a recording studio. Boobie's all smiles until it's time to talk business. Boobie might seem like he's just out for himself, but it's his partnership with the young aspiring music mogul Dre-Quan for only RAul Records that he's most invested in. Now they just need a hit. The quote to sum him up is, "The club money pay for the studio and the drug money pay for it all." Which brings us nicely into the next 2 characters' introduction, which is RAul Dimes, with their little tagline, viral videos and viral hooks. Bay Lux and Roxy, aka RAul Dimes, have been friends since high school. Girls with the savvy to turn their time shaking down local dealers into cold, hard cash via spicy rap tracks and a relentless social media presence. They are one hit away from fame. An early hit single with local rapper Dunply took RAul Dimes to new heights. Now, after 5 years and a whole lot of trouble, they're signed to only RAul Records, hoping that lightning can strike twice. The quote to sum 'em up is, "All my dimes in this club, meet my twin, make it a dub." The next character we're introduced to is Heder, with the tagline, "Nothing better than a mudslide at sunset." Brian is a classic drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys. Still moving product through his boatyard with his third wife, Lon, Brian's been around long enough to let the others do his dirty work. He might look like a Leonida beach bum, but moves like a great white shark. Brian's letting Jason live rent-free at one of his properties, so long as he helps with the local shakedowns and stops by for Laurie's sangria once in a while. The quote to sum Brian up is, "I hauled so much grass in that plane, I could make the state of Leonida levitate." Next we have Cal Hampton, with the tagline, "What if everything on the internet was true?" He's Jason's friend and a fellow associate of Brian's. Cal feels safest hanging at home, snooping on Coast Guard comms, with a few beers and some private browser tabs open. It has the headline, "The psychotics are in charge, so get used to it." Cal is at the low tide of America and happy there. Casual paranoia loves company, but his friend Jason has bigger plans. The quote they picked to give us some insight to him are, "There are too many birds flying around in perfect formation." Next on the introduction is Dre-Quan Priest, who is an artist with only RAu Records. Dre-Quan was always more of a hustler than a gangster, and even when he was dealing on the streets to make ends meet, breaking into music was the goal. Now that Dre-Quan has signed the RAul Dimes, Dre-Quan's days of booking acts into Boobie's strip club might be numbered as he sets his sights on the Vice City scene. The quote to sum him up are, "Dancers are like my A&Rs. If the record's a hit, DJ's gonna be spinning it." And the last character we're introduced to, which I think is the most interesting of the characters, is RAul Bautista. And he has the tagline, "Experience counts." Confidence, charms, and cunning, RAul is a seasoned bank robber, always on the hunt for a talent, ready to take the risks that bring the biggest rewards. A professional adapts. RAul's recklessness raises the stakes with every score. Sooner or later, his crew will have to double down or pull their chips from the table. The quote to give us insight into RAul is, "Life is full of surprises, my friend. I think we'd all be wise to remember that." I think the reason I find him the most interesting is, of course, he's a bank robber, and this screenshot here of himself and Lucia and Jason in a bank robbery gone wrong just reminds me so much of the movie Heat and that shootout, and that would be awesome to play through. But let me know which one of the newer characters that we've learned about is your favorite from the list and why. I'd love to hear that. All of this information dropped with the trailer 2, which kind of came out of nowhere after the delay that they announced. And to be quite honest, I wasn't overly impressed with the tone of the trailer. I was impressed by the visuals, I got excited about the world. I just felt the tone of it and the relationship between Lucia and Jason, I don't know, it didn't really connect with me. I wasn't that interested in it. But when I started to learn about the characters in the game that we'll be meeting, as well as when I started looking through the world of Leonida, well, yeah, I started to get my excitement back again for the game. So I'm really looking forward to GTS 6. So let me know in the comments, are you also? Alright, thanks to everyone, and I'll catch you all again soon.